Welcome to another episode of Midnight Munchies. We know it's been like 8 months since our last episode, so tonight's episode is dedicated to the idea of redemption.
Yeah, it's been a while, but it wasn't me with the chronic masturbation problem that kept holding it up.
Yeah, enough about that. Back to today's meal.
Like Simon said, today's show is about redemption. So as a way to redeem ourselves to you, we're gonna help you redeem yourselves to your family this Christmas.
Chances are, your contribution to Thanksgiving, they didn't quite live up to Mom's expectations. So this time, instead of just bringing your new life partner, we're gonna teach you a kick-ass side that's so delicious, your mom, she'll probably forget that your life choices, they're slowly killing her.
Today's meal combines elegance with down-home comfort as we take baked mac and cheese to a whole new level of artery-clogging delights.
I've pretty much hated baked mac and cheese my whole life. Until recently, a friend showed me a great egg-free recipe that was moist, smooth, and creamy. See, I love regular mac and cheese, but a lot of these baked mac and cheese recipes, they call for way too much eggs. Like, is it breakfast or is it mac and cheese? Yeah, it looks cheesy, but it's not cheese.
Tonight, we keep Simon from having a stroke, your mom from disowning you, and most importantly, return cheese to a dish was somehow forgotten even though it's in its name. As with any pasta dish, we want to start with some boiling water and a pinch of salt. For our noodle tonight, we're going with rigatoni. We really have no reason. Simon wrote some lines about it's got airiness and some other about nooks and crannies, but I think he's full of it. So just use whatever you got. You'll need about 1.5 pounds or a 1.5 boxes.
For our cheeses today, we're going all over the world. However, for our melting cheeses, we're staying domestic with some Colby Jack and some sharp cheddar cheese. We're gonna need about 2 pounds of each, with about half going to the cheese sauce itself and another half used for a cheesy layer in the center and top.
This is where our recipe veers off the traditional egg stained path. Instead of making a white sauce using eggs, butter, and flour, we use 24 ounces of ricotta and cottage cheese as our base. Both cheeses will keep our dish plenty moist as it bakes, a problem often found in egg-free recipes. Once our cheese base is ready, we blend in our noodles until all get a hearty coating. To season, we use a sprinkling of salt and pepper, a handful of capers, and then finally about 1/2 cup of honey for sweetness.
With our pasta and cheese sauce pretty much done, we get our final element ready, the meat.
After last episode, Simon promised me we'd get to kill something that wasn't of my species. Since we didn't use eggs, the baby chicks get spared this time. But unfortunately, this little piggy goes to a 400-degree oven as we crisp up some prosciutto. It should only take a few minutes, so keep a close eye and be careful not to burn. You don't want it completely fried, just a little crisp before it finishes off in the mac and cheese. With all our components almost ready, we can begin assembly. We start with half our pasta and sauce mixture, followed by half of our melting cheese. We then dump on our remaining pasta. By now our prosciutto should be ready, so we start our final sinful layer. We start with the prosciutto, followed by our remaining melting cheese, followed by a handful of capers.
We cover our mac and cheese with aluminum foil before sticking it in a 375-degree oven.
Cooking times will vary by the size of the dish you cook it in. Our dish is pretty deep, so it'll need about an hour and 15 minutes. Once baked, it's ready to take to Mom's. Simply stick it under the broiler for 15 minutes once you get there, and you shouldn't have to worry about it getting too cold or hard.
Well, that does it for another episode of Midnight Munchies. For the fish, me, and everyone else here, see you next time. And don't forget, when it comes to cooking, you don't need 8 months. You definitely don't need 8 months. Really, 8 months? All you need is thumbs.